Hello everyone, Chainam Shah this side. And guys, today we are going to see some basics of Claude Code or some operations of Claude Code, starting with what is the Claude. So, guys, Claude Code is one of the program built by Anthropic, right? And it is basically your CLI. Now, CLI is your command line interface, and there is one another thing or second thing which is known as your GUI, which is your graphical user interface. Now, difference between them is going to be your CLI programs are going to be command based. Basically, if you're going to go inside the terminal and let's suppose you want to open any of the folders, you're going to write down command for that. Whereas if you're going to see in your operating system, whether you're working in Windows or Apple, you're going to double click that folder, right, to open that. So that is your GUI. So wherever we are able to click something, we are able to see something in pictorial form. That would be your GUI, right? So this is your CLI, and you can use it either with the help of your terminal. You can use any of the code editors like your VS Code or anything, or Cursor, right? So any of the IDEs you can use, which is your integrated development environment, right? Apart from that, yeah, so it can read your files, it can write code, it can run tools, and it can execute multiple tasks as well. Now, where does it leave? As discussed, it would be the terminal or else VS Code or anything you can use. You can also access it using web app. Now, what it can do, so it can run write files, it can run Python also, it can run some of the shell or power scripts also, or else your this command prompt scripts also. And apart from that, it can browse for you, it can search some documents for you, right? So how it is going to think, you're going to give whatever you want to give the task in plain English, and it is going to start, so it is going to start using its tools, and it is going to ask for some permissions. Let's suppose if it wants to execute some bash command, which is your command prompt, right? So it is going to ask the permissions also. Next are the files and folders. So guys, first folder itself is Claude.md. Now mostly guys have difficulty in understanding this. So basically Claude.md is one of the markdown file. In this, whenever I'm going to open my Claude, it is going to read this first and then it is going to start. Now what does this tell? So it is going to tell Claude what it is supposed to do. Let's suppose I want to prepare a cake, right? So I will need certain amount of ingredients. It would be egg, it would be flour, it would be milk, it would be butter, sugar, etc., etc., right? So after that, I would be also knowing that what I'm supposed to do. Some certain steps I should be knowing, like I need to preheat the oven for 5 minutes on 1500 degrees Celsius. I'm just giving you one analogy. I don't know how to make cake, guys, right? So this steps I should be knowing. I should be knowing the ingredients. So ingredients are analogy to tools. Steps are the analogy to workflow, right? So I should be knowing what I should be doing, what I need for that, and that is the basically your Claude.md. Next is your tools, right? So if I want to execute certain task or certain script, the code which we are going to talk about, that is your tools, right? So if I want to call any of the APIs, if I want to copy any of the files, I want to delete any of the files, I want to paste any of the files, any operation on the basis of file I want to do, I want to transform the data, I would be using this thing which is known as the tool. Next is workflow. So these are also .md files, or else you can say markdown files, right? And this would be your SOPs, right? If I want to execute something, it would be given in the plain English, right? Then do this, then do this, then do this. So these are your workflows. Then next would be your .env file. Now, whenever I am giving any of the API keys or any of the credentials of, let's suppose, Google credentials, Anthropic credentials inside the terminal itself, where I am having communication with Claude, I can't do that because this keys might get into the online server also, right? From my local server, it can go over there. So there is a specific file which is known as .env file, where if I'm going to store all my credentials, it won't be uploaded online, right? And then next is .tmp file. So any temporary files which Claude is generating for its reference would be inside this. Also for our reference, also it would be inside this. So this you can delete whenever you want. Next, we are going to talk about permissions, guys. So there are basically 5 types of permission. First is the ask before edit. So this is the most safest permission if you're going to see, right? And over here, Claude is going to ask for everything to you, right? Then second is edit automatically. Over here, it is only going to ask you the bash commands, the commands which it is going to execute in your command prompt or terminal. Apart from those commands, it's not going to ask you for copying any of the files, pasting any of the files, etc., editing any of the files also. Then the next is plain mode. So guys, sometimes you don't know that this is what Sometimes you just know that this is where I want to reach, but you don't know how we are going to reach to that point, right? So at that particular time, mostly you would be using plan mode. This is one of the best thing, right? Over here, Claude is not going to start executing any of the things. It is just going to generate one plan, and once it is final, like if you're going to give approval to that, it is going to start editing it, right? It can use edit automatically. After that, if you're going to see, this is one of the new modes, which is auto mode, which recently has came. So this basically, the Claude automatically picks the best permission which is needed from these four permissions on the basis of the task which we are going to give to it. And the last thing, which is the most dangerous, which is the bypass permission. So mostly you might have heard this news that Claude has deleted this file or this file. So mostly people are using it on the bypass permission. Mostly I also use it on the bypass permission. Let's suppose if I want to go for something, right? So I want to go for something, and if I'm going to continuously give that permission thing, I won't able to do that, right? So for that, mostly I would be giving the bypass permission. But if you are aware about all this stuff, then only you go for this. I don't think so till now it has done anything wrong, right? And second, what you can do, first execute the plan, and then if you feel that plan is completely correct, read it perfectly, and once it is correct, then you can go with the bypass permission. So there is no need of approval at every time. Now next is the importance of your plan mode, right? So same thing which I was telling to people, without plan mode, if you're going to execute anything, it is going to start executing immediately, right? Let's suppose I'm asking refactor the auth module, right? So it is going to read this auth.python, right? It has not asked me any of the permissions over here, and it is doing this automatically right over here. Then it is going to use some of the tools, which is auth.python, write file auth.python, which means it is rewriting this file. So it is like asking my permission. So over there would be many permissions over here. Exactly, I don't know what is going on in the background. Whereas if I'm going to go with the plan mode first, it is going to tell me, see, again, I'm asking the same thing, that refactor the auth module. So here is my plan. So this is the plan from the Claude, and it is going to be like read the auth. So it is telling what first it is going to go with. Then if there are some dependencies, then it is going to map them, right? Some things which it need, right? If I'm making a cake, let's suppose I need a flour, I need eggs. Now I only have milk and sugar at my place, so I need to buy them. So these are the dependencies and all, right? Anyways, so if it needs something, it is going to write down over here, right? And finally it is going to ask you whether this plan is fine with you. You can either type yes or no. Next are the models, right? So whenever we are talking about the Claude, there are three models right now over here which we would be using in our Claude Code. One is the Haiku 4.5, Sonnet 4.6, and Opus 4.7. Now this is the one of the very cheapest model, right? And this you hardly use. Of course, over here if you're going to see, this is having a, this is more faster compared to this both. This is the like very slow, and it is using the most of your credits also. But whenever if I want to go for any complex thing, or if I want to go with anything which is very reasoning or researching, deep analysis, I can go with this thing. For every day or Monday task, you can go with this, right? Mostly I would be using this one only, which is Sonnet, and this I hardly use. I don't think so I have ever used this. Yeah, so these are the some pricings of the model, right? Before that, if you're going to see over here, what is the token? So one token would be 0.75 words. So the way we are keeping, let's suppose if I'm writing everything, I'm writing something on my notepad, right? So after some time, that notepad is going to be complete, right? So after how many words it is going to be completed, right? So basically 0.75 words would be one token for a Claude, right? If you guys want to understand more about the tokens, just write down in the comment box. I will make one video on this also. Anyways, right now, if you're getting 1 million tokens, like uh on 80 cents you're getting 1 million of token, and on $4 you are getting 1 million tokens output. Oh yeah, this is input, which means you are checking with the Haiku model, and output means you are getting something in return, right? The output which it is giving. Over here it is $3 per million and 15, right? And over here it is 15 and 75, right? Now again, this is the most expensive over here, but still, whenever I need to do anything complex, I would be using Opus only. Anyways, now one mindset which I wanted to share with you people, right? Now, see, I'm talking right now about India. So, anyways, like if you're going to hire any of our developers, any junior developer is going to be somewhere around 15,000 to 40,000 per month, right? And if you're going for the pro subscription of Claude, also it is $100, which is less than 10,000 bucks, 10,000 INR currency. I'm talking about, right? So it's far more cheaper. You can check out this. If you're going to see over here, simple task which is done by Haiku. So this all things are for one, like if we are having one session with haiku, it is going to cost somewhere around 1 to 5 rupees. For sonnet, it would be 10 to 85 rupees, and so on. Right? So you guys can check out this. And last, if I want a good output from my Claude, I have to give a better prompt to it, right? So I have discussed the way you can prompt your Claude, right? Basically, there are four steps over here. You are going to define the role, you're going to give the context, you're going to give the task, and you're going to give the format in which you want your answer back, right? So a vague prompt or a weak prompt would be something like this: make me a website. And a strong prompt would be something like this: that you are a senior web developer, build a single page portfolio website for a freelance photographer, so on, so on, so on, right? So this you guys can read. Regarding this, I have made one video also, so you guys can check that out. Fine. So for today, I'm keeping this much only.